I'm so excited right now. 935 KDAY. And of course, I really love this woman. I've worked closely with this woman. She has become a friend and just somebody that I inspire to be like. I got to go ahead and welcome Adriana Gallardo to the station.
Yay! Finally, girl.
I know, finally. But listen, I have seen you. You have been out. You have been touring. You have been doing these TED Talks. But first, I'm like, as soon as I get Adriana here in the studio, I want to talk about Chingona Circle, because I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm a Chingona.
Of course
and
you
I would
are.
love to be at a Chingona
Yes.
Circle. So tell us all about it.
Yes, of course. Well, my Chingona Circle, it's my closest community. This is a group of girls, ladies, it doesn't matter your age, as
Right.
long as you want to change your life.
Mm.
It's very important to surround yourself, with people who are like-minded, people
Yes.
who want to grow, people who want to change their lives. It's just so important because it's not just about you wanting to make a change. The people around you are not on board. It's really hard. So this is the community, and then I'll teach them, or I'll share with them
Right.
my life experience, my experience as a business owner.
Yes.
And then, I'll give them all these tips and all this. And the tips are very practical. These are with very practical exercises and things that they can apply right away to either open a business, grow a business, get into a relationship, or get out of one and to just change their lives.
I love that. Now, I think the Chingona Circle is so important for women because, especially strong women, sometimes strong women don't like to seem like they're vulnerable or they're weak. And you need that circle of women to lean on and just to kind of encourage to keep going. So I want to go to the next Chingona Circle. Please, when is it? Or do we have to follow you to find out?
Yeah, follow me. It's on my website, adrianagallardo.com. Or my social media.
Okay, because I would like to open up
Yes, of course.
to even some of our listeners. There's listeners out there that are trying so hard to be business women and instructors, and they need a circle of women to kind of lean on. So this is perfect.
And yeah, and that's what I'm there for, to encourage you, believe in you, give you the tools, support you, and just take you all the way.
Adriana, I want to ask you, and I want to get personal for a second. You have one of the most successful businesses out here in Los Angeles, and you have been touring. A lot of people are so familiar with Adriana's insurance, but I always look at you as somebody, I look at you a little different from a different perspective, because I always think like, wow, she's doing it. She has her success. She's out there giving back to the community. You give back every Christmas. I have bear witness to it. She gives back all the time. But how hard was it being a brown woman trying to start up your own business? I'm sure there were some obstacles that you faced.
Híjole, un montón. A
Oof,
lot.
yes.
A lot. I remember this woman that you see today, that woman on the billboards has a story like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that I'm just the image of the company and
Right.
not the owner, and not, I own it. I'm involved, very highly involved in my company.
You're very hands-on.
Yes, very,
Yeah.
very hands-on. And I built this company from scratch. I came to this country with nothing. I was just another young Mexican girl, an illegal immigrant, not knowing English. I had no money, and since I was already 18, yeah, and I was not accepted into the traditional school system. So
Wow.
I had to find a job. And that's where I started. I started making burgers and cleaning the restrooms and taking out the trash and doing all that. And it's good. That gave me all the
That work ethic, yeah.
that I see today. And then after that, it was my mom. She's the one who had a bigger vision than me. She always pushed me. She always made me uncomfortable. She always uncomfortable and like putting me in places
Making
where,
you grow.
Yes,
Yes.
She always told me like, "Es que eres chingona."
Yes.
No, yo no soy chingona. I'm scared. Yeah, well, you're gonna do it scared. You're gonna do it anyways. And I believe in you. I remember those words. I believe in you. And the fact that she believed in me more than I believed in myself is what really pushed me to do what I did and
go
to
out there.
build this business.
Were there times though where you were sitting by yourself and you're like, oh my God, can I do this?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Now that you mention it, I remember when I first opened my business in Pomona on Holt Boulevard. I remember because I started working for another company and I became the #1 sales agent there. And so my mom was so excited and she says, why don't you open your own business? Mom, are you crazy? Like, really? One thing is I know how to sell insurance. Another
Right.
totally different is I don't know how to run a business. So I told her, you go find it because, I can't do it. I don't believe in myself. Like, I just don't I just don't want to do it.
Right.
So she went and she looked for this place, which is a little bodega, like what do you call it? Like a warehouse,
Yes.
of a real estate office that was on. They're still on hold. 565 East Hold Boulevard. Yeah, and so they had a little space where only 2 desks fit. So it was me and my mom. And I remember I would come in the morning, with a change of clothes, and I would wear my jeans, tennis shoes, and go out to the DMV. I would
Right.
go out to whatever I saw cars. I was there. Every Latino supermarket, I
Oh,
was there
you were hitting the
passing out
pavement, Adriana.
Oh,
Yes.
and I did it, by myself. And I created this little system because I remember I would put the flyers on the windshields.
Yes.
And then I would wait there for the second round of cars to come. And I would see people grab the flyers and get so mad and throw them on the floor. And, I shed a tear too. And,
Right.
And I went back and I said, I have to pick them up and recycle them, dust them off, and here we go again. And I did it again and again and again. And I remember one day I went to the DMV and, I remember going in between the cars because there was a security person there, which was Latino, by the way. And
Right.
he kept kicking me out. And I was scared. But I remember that something my mom said, and this is what I want to tell people. Not everything you do, or not everything you do is going to feel good. If you really want to grow, if you really want to do something with your life, not everything is going to feel good. And you have to be willing to get out there and expose yourself and
Yes.
do the sacrifice. So I remember I did that, and that guy kept kicking me out. Then I would go back to the office and wait for clients. And sometimes, like we say in Spanish, ni las moscas,
Mhm.
not even a fly would show up. I was waiting there. And then one day I said, now I know why nobody comes, because we don't have a sign. So I went to Home Depot and I bought some wood and a stencil.
Oh my, I'm
and
loving
spray
this
paint.
story.
No,
Yes.
spray paint. And I spray painted the word insurance on this ugly sign that I bought. I didn't have money.
Right.
And I hung it on the wall and I sat in the office, and here comes the owner of the real estate office. Oh my God, I don't even,
Yeah.
like, that was that moment where I had to, I hit rock bottom.
Oh my
He
God.
came and he took my sign down. He
Mm.
threw it in front of me. He stepped all over it. I was only 19 or 20. I was scared.
Right.
I didn't know what this man was going to do to me. And I remember just my hands were sweating and my legs were shaking under the desk. And I kept looking at him. I didn't know what he's going to do. He threw it in front of me and he goes, you know what, little girl? This isn't Mexico. This
Ooh.
isn't Tijuana. You do this again. You put up this ghetto sign on my building and you're out of here. And he walked out. And at that point, I had a choice. I felt like,
I know you
felt,
felt like, oh, but you had a choice.
yes,
Either you can quit
yes.
or you can keep going.
And that's when I said, I'm going to have to put on my chingona.
Mm-hmm.
I have to let her rise. And then that's when I cried out to God. And that's that moment that you're telling me when I said, God, when am I ever going to see this woman that my mom sees in me?
Wow.
Where is she? Because I'm trying. And
Yes.
I'm trying and I'm hustling and I'm going every freaking day and it's not working. When am I going to see this powerful, confident? Like, I'm not confident. I don't believe in me. This isn't going to work. And then at that point, I had to make a decision. And I did it more for my mom than for me. Because
Yes.
she kept telling me how great I was. And I was like, I have a choice. I either allow this freaking guy to put me down, or I allow my mom to influence me
Yes.
and just really be a chingona.
That's what it is. And
That's what I
actually that was like my next question, because my question was, so what's the first step to becoming a chingona? But I feel like you answered it. I feel like one of the first steps is not to give up. Because you
Never
didn't give up.
Do it afraid. I mean, fear is always going to be there. Every time you want to make a change in your life, every single time you have an idea and you want to do something different, fear is going to show up.
Right.
So use it to your advantage.
Let it fuel you.
Yes, exactly. Let it fuel you and remind you that there's something great coming.
And I love the fact that you had your mother behind you, because first of all, moms can always they always know best.
Yes.
Mothers know best. Your mom knew
Yes.
who you were before you even knew who you
Yes.
were. She created you. She knew what she
Amen.
created, and I
Yeah.
think that's just so beautiful. And it's a testimony. The fact that you went through all this in the beginning, and we see this fabulous woman on billboards, on television. You know what I mean? Doing these TED talks. But you're right, Adriana. You have a story, and that right there, that could have been a pivotal moment for you. That could have made or break you.
Yes. And we all have those moments.
Right.
And this is part of being chingona. For me, chingona, which is, we're going to talk about the book later, but chingona is a lifestyle.
Right.
Is believing in yourself, believing that you're worth it, that you're valuable,
Mm-hmm.
that, why do people need or women need permission to be who they are, to be chingonas?
Right.
And that's basically, what I talk about. That's why I want to help women understand that it's okay to do it afraid.
I try to tell women it's okay to fall as long as you get back up. That's
Yeah.
the key. Consistency. Just please keep getting up. Keep getting up.
Keep
Keep
getting
doing. Yeah.
up, but also don't victimize yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of that, and that's not sexy.
Mm-mm.
No one wants to be around someone who's always blaming others for their frustrations or their circumstances. It's, you have to own it. You
Right.
have to really be accountable for your decisions and stand behind them.
Now let's jump into it because you are the author of How to Be a Chingona Woman, Strong and Fearless. I love it. You can say it in Spanish though.
Yeah, it's not fearless because I always say use the fear. You're not gonna
Use the fear.
use it.
Okay.
But I have a new title for it.
Oh.
Which is, bueno, en español es Cómo ser una mujer chingona y no morirse del miedo. Right? But
Right.
in English, it would sound more like How to Be a Chingona in the Face of Fear.
Ooh, I love
Oh,
that.
I love it too. Because you're
Yes.
facing it again and again and again every single time. The key to happiness is to progress. And every
Right.
time you want to progress, there's going to be fear.
But hear me out on this. You do so much because I see you all over the city. How did you even have time to write a book, lady? I was like, wait a minute, she wrote a book. Oh my God, this is crazy.
It took me about 2 years
Really?
to write it. Yeah, and it's 30 years of my life.
And how did it come about? Was it that people were asking for it? It had been coming up in conversations. When was the moment you decided, like, hey, I need to write a book?
You know what, Cece? I have been giving opportunity to a lot of people that came to this country just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have coached them and I have built them and I noticed that it just keeps repeating itself and I just kept getting better and better at it. And one day I just said, you know what, I'm gonna have to write a book.
Yes.
And write like the steps or the things that help me be who I am. And that's what really inspired me. All the women that I see there are going on autopilot and they go to work and they take care of their kids and they're trying to open a business or it's really hard
Yes.
to be a woman and not get paid the same as men or to be limited
Or sometimes not
that-
not even being acknowledged
or
for
not
this.
being
Yeah.
yes or el machismo,
Mm-hmm.
el machismo that keeps women limited. So for me, this isn't against men. This isn't about being chingona. It's an arrogant, crazy woman that puts people down. No, this is more about a chingona is a person who overcomes herself.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I think you said it
Yes.
perfectly. That's what it is. A chingona is somebody that overcomes themselves because it's
Yes.
all about self-love too.
And it's a woman who has the ability to figure things out,
Mm-hmm.
is independent, is responsible for for her words, for her emotions. And and
Adriana, but the book, the TED Talks, let me ask you, do you even consider, is there been conversations? Maybe I'm just manifesting this, but what about like a movie about you?
a movie.
Would you do that? Would you be interested? I think that would be awesome.
Oh yes.
You, as an immigrant coming, you know what I mean?
Imagine.
Yes, to this
Wow.
country with nothing, with people trying to stomp your dream. You got your mother, you've got all these obstacles. I'm just saying it would make for a good movie. Yes.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to.
I think that would be actually
Yes.
cool. But let me ask you this. So you just received an award from the Mexican Chamber of Commerce and the Financial Congress Mexico City. What is those honors and being honored that way? What does it mean for you? And I want to say, what does it mean for you and your family? Because I
Wow.
also feel like your family has stood
Thank
behind you.
Yeah, I love my family. They're very supportive. And yeah, well, going back to Mexico, my city where I was born, and coming back from, achieving success in the US, it's a big thing. And I went back to share with all my Mexicans,
Yes.
what I've learned, and to tell them, hey, you don't need to go to the other side of the charco. Like, you can make it here. You have to believe in yourself and have purpose and take risk, and be willing to put in the work and always over deliver. And I'm just so happy to come back and show them that,
Yeah,
hey,
and
it
they're so
is
happy for you to
possible.
come back and receive all that knowledge
Yes,
too. I think it's
yes,
beautifully reciprocated, you know.
yes.
Also too, like you just launched your book tour through the Mexican state along, and I keep saying it, her very first TED Talk. How is touring and being an international speaker? Because now you're an international speaker.
Wow, it's amazing. Honestly, Cece, I am living my purpose. I'm
You're living your
loving it.
purpose, but you're also living a dream,
I
like
am.
something that you created.
Yes.
You created this. You
I'm
carved this
so
out.
thankful. I feel so blessed. So thankful. God is putting me in this place. God gave me that Adriana's insurance business, and he trusted me to lead it
Right.
and create an opportunity for other people. So I'm just thankful, and I'm loving my life.
Can I ask you, just from being a businesswoman and maintaining family, you have all these, these touring dates. Adriana, how do you find time for, just block everything out? Adriana.
I make it.
Okay. See,
I
very important, women, very important. Got to
You
make that
have to
time.
make it, yes. Because in Chingonas, there's levels, and the
I didn't know
highest,
that. Thank you for putting me up
yeah,
on game. I
yes,
didn't know that.
read the book.
Yes.
Levels. And the highest level of Chingona is the person who achieves harmony and peace in every area of her life.
Oh, I love that.
So, how do you achieve that? By prioritizing and really making time for
Do you feel
yourself.
guilty though when you
Yes,
prioritize your
sometimes,
me time?
yes. I used to, but not anymore, because if I don't prioritize myself, what kind of energy, what kind of, love and energy and attitude am I going to have towards the ones I love?
Well, no, and I feel like you have to kind of refuel that energy, because as you're going on these speaking dates, as you're doing
Yes.
business with different people, your energy is so infectious. I know people just take that energy, that energy. It's just wonderful. So at the end of the day, you have to
I
do,
have to meditate. I do
yes,
yoga. I do Pilates. I love incenses. I pray. I have Christian music all the time. Like, I feed my spirit,
right.
and
Now,
then that takes care of everything.
when you're going on tour, and I have all these questions just because I
Yes.
finally got her in front of me, so I definitely want to ask all these questions. When you meet these women and they look at you and they're like, "Oh my God," talk to me about some of the women that you've met and how they affected you.
Well, they're all very thankful, and it's really cute, and it's really nice to see how they've never seen me before, and then they sit next to me after they hear my story, and then all of a sudden it's like I've known them my whole life,
Wow.
and they just open up their hearts and they start sharing with me their most private, like, problems or situations with their family, their husband, their bosses, like, just things that are going on in their lives, and their eyes
Mm.
teared up, and it's really nice to be used by God, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to give them a message and to make them feel better. Because I tell
Yes.
them in their eyes, because they tell me, like, I don't even believe in myself. I
Oh,
have had people.
I know that has to hurt you when you
Oh
hear
my
these
God.
women sitting there,
Yes.
because that has to be so vulnerable, and you have to be at a moment in your life where you're just like, I don't believe in myself. I need help.
Yes.
And there you are, So I love that you do that with
And
these women.
sometimes they just need to be heard.
Hmm.
They don't have anybody to share with. So a lot of times is they just sit next to me and they just tell me all their stories, all their problems, and then I just ask, and I always tell them, like, I'm sorry that that happened to you, but that doesn't define who you are, and you're better than this.
I love that.
And
Yes.
then they love it, and like, okay, tell me how. And then I just, have purpose in life, have acceptance for yourself, love yourself, and respect yourself. If you don't do that, what makes you think that other people would?
Right.
You know?
Right. You have to, it starts with you.
Yes.
And that's what it is. And that's really what it is to be Chingona. It really does start with you. Adriana, before I let you go, I want to ask you, is there anything that you want to tell our viewers right now, something about you that they maybe don't know, that you would love for people to know about you?
That I'm a woman just like anybody that I'm not just an image of a company, that I'm very proud of what I do, and that I really hope to meet you one day. And if you didn't have the mom that I had, be that mom for your children. Be that mom, that tia, that comadre for kids, for the new generation, because they need us. We need
Yes.
to have a lot of family values in the community.
No, definitely. And I'd like to thank you because
Thank you.
you are a businesswoman that a lot of Latinas look up to, that they inspire to be. And the fact that you are touring, you are giving these TED Talks, you wrote this book, you are giving back your knowledge. And when I first met you, I was nervous because I didn't know either. I just thought of the image with the business. And then I got to meet you and I was like, oh my God, she really is the sweetest person. I mean, this is awesome. I'm like, she really cares about the community. I have never seen anybody give back the way you gave back. We were out there in Orange County
Yes.
and you had lines wrapped around
Yeah,
the
I said
block.
that. Oh my God, I love it.
But you give back so much. She
Yes.
doesn't do just toys. She does food, groceries. I mean, I was like, wow, this is a businesswoman that actually gives back and actually speaks for the community and stands with the community. And I saw a different side of you, and it really made me admire you a lot more.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
no, thank you so much. And
Thank
and
you.
really quick, I want everybody to head out to the library. The official book launch is going to be at the Los Angeles Public Library, going downtown LA. So that's going down tomorrow. I will be there because I'm going to be supporting.
I love you.
Yes,
Cece.
I cannot wait. It's
Thank
going
you.
down at 5 o'clock. Don't meet her there. Beat her there. And the address is 630 West 5th Street in downtown LA. So it is the Los Angeles Public Library. It's in downtown LA at 5 o'clock. You're going to be doing your official book launch. I'm so
Yes.
excited and
Oh,
I
me
cannot wait.
too.
And I already know it's going to be nothing but love and a bunch of chingonas and hugging and lifting up one another and praising each other. And
Great. Amen.
yes, and you just have good energy, like everything about you.
Thank you, mi amor.
No, I just want to
You're
thank
so
you.
Nice.
Thank you so much. And thank you for stopping by because I
thank
know
you
you're
for having
busy.
me. Thank you.
I'm like,
thank
wow,
you.
I actually got her in the studio.
I love it. Thank you for having me.